lipstick?
No.
You look like you're wearing lipstick.
What? What's going on, everyone? I'm Sam with another iteration of our Is It Worth It series. Today, we're going to see if it is worth it to buy a Honda Civic Type R versus an SI. I really like both of these cars and I was pretty excited to jump into this one. But before we get going in this debate, I just want to remind you to go check out the gallery we have at fitmentindustries.com, which has a ton of Civic SIs and Type Rs. If you like the setup on any of them, we make it dummy easy to snag the exact wheels, tires, and suspension setup that they have. So I used to be an Integra guy, so I really have a soft spot for Hondas, especially an SI or Type R trim. The bloodlines of the SI and Type R go really deep, deeper than a lot of us Americans had access to. Oh, sorry, keep scrolling up a little near. I was talking to Jealous. Sorry, Jealous. Sorry, Neri. We didn't even get the OG Civic Type R in 1997. That was reserved for Japan and tearing up the streets and tracks over there. The images and videos of cars from the likes of No Good Racing screaming around Osaka are super iconic. Neri, play some of that footage right here. The SI is more familiar to us, and we got a little hot hatch back in 1984 that is arguably the start of the SI lineage. It's crazy to look back and realize that the car with an SI, standing for Sport Injected, didn't even have 100 horsepower compared to what we have now. That's a little history lesson, but for the sake of simplicity and access to these cars, I'd like to focus today's discussion on the 10th generation of Civics, which is readily available for sale. Those of you wondering if the older Type R is worth it over an SI, I'll give you my hot take right here. The Type R from previous generations, especially the original, is 100% worth it. Importing one and all of that comes into play. I know, you're gonna pay for it, but those cars will absolutely hold their value and most likely actually appreciate if you keep them nice. What about the 10th generation I mentioned though? Let's dive into what the SI is and what the Type R is. I'm going to start with the SI trim level first, and then we'll go to the Type R later. You can get the SI in either a 4-door or a 2-door. Either option has some more aggressive bodywork compared to the normal Civic. If you don't want something extreme, the front bumper looks really good and sporty in my opinion on the SI. Engine-wise, you get a 1.5-liter 4-cylinder with a turbo, pumping out 205 respectable ponies in stock form. You're also rolling your own gears in this car with a 6-speed manual transmission as it should be. Within that drivetrain, you also get a limited slip differential, which is very necessary on a front-wheel drive car to help with overall handling when trying to put that power down. Torque steer is kind of fun, but isn't something you really want to have when focusing on performance. The SI also gets some sportier suspension, a bit more rigid set of sway bars, and larger front brakes. Overall, you definitely get enough from the factory to warrant a sportier trim level and SI badge versus just a generic everyday Civic. But let's go deeper and see what's so special about the Type R. The only body option here is a 5-door hatchback. And I'll be real with you, it took me way longer than it should have when I was younger to realize what that 5th door was. It's like the back, it was not like fuel door or whatever. The bodywork on the Type R is way more aggressive than the basic Civic or SI. When this first came out, I couldn't believe Honda is going this bonkers on a Civic, and I freaking love it. The crazy aero is also functional though and gives you some true downforce, force, and performance applications. Engine-wise, you get a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, putting out 310 horsepower. That's 105 horsepower more than the SI for those of you that are taking notes. You also get a 6-speed manual with the Type R as well, along with a limited slip differential and all the goodies from the SI, but a lot of them are just a little bit better. If you're watching this video, you probably know all the specifics on these cars, but I wanted to set a little baseline for all of us so we're all on the same page. Now let's make things a little more interesting and figure out how much either of these cars cost. We're taking March of 2022 numbers, and the world is a little bit crazy right now, but they should be directionally accurate. I'm also going to look at used car prices since most of you guys will be doing the same. I went out and I found 10 used Honda Civic SIs and 10 used Honda Civic Type Rs and did a little comparison. I tried to be as fair as possible and pick some similar years whenever I could. On average, the Honda Civic Type Rs for sale were about half a year newer than the SIs available for sale. The Type Rs also had, on average, about 11,000 less miles when compared to the SIs that were available for sale. The price, this is what we're all wanting to be curious about here. On average, again, for the Type R, was about $13,000 more than a comparable SI. So what does that all mean? So the Type R is about $13,000 more expensive on the used car market with 11,000 less miles. $13,000 is a lot of money, but is it enough to justify purchase of a Type R over an SI? We're getting back to our core question. Is a Honda Civic Type R worth it over a Honda Civic SI? In my opinion, heck yeah. I really do think it's worth it, and I'll give you my main reasons why. The Type R appears to hold its value better than the equivalent SIs, and in the long run, if the old Type Rs are any indication of future value, your money should be pretty safe with the Type R. For that money, you are really getting a much different Civic than the normal everyday one, even compared to the SI. You're seriously getting a lot of car and performance here. This is a performer out of the box and really punches above its weight class in my opinion, even at that price point. And this one is a big one, especially if you're a car guy. If you get an SI, which I totally think is a great car on its own, every time you see a Type R on the road or in your rearview mirror with that aggressive aero, triple exhaust, you're gonna wish that was you. And this is kind of a big one because these cars are so different in my opinion. $13,000 isn't anything to joke about, but I feel like that $13,000 is justified and could be safer in the long run, assuming you take care of the car when you're buying a Honda Civic Type R. Both the 10th generation Honda Civic Si and Type R are great cars. I don't think you can go wrong with either, but I do believe the Type R is worth it over the Si. I appreciate you guys watching this video again, and don't forget to swing by our gallery at fitmentindustries.com and check out all the Civic Type Rs, SIs, all the 6 Civics, along with their wheel, tire, and suspension setups. I'm Sam, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Thank you. Neri said it in all caps.